What's up, man?
What's up?
Well, and welcome back, huh? Welcome home.
Yeah, thanks.
So Ethan Landis, Marshall County alum, now living the college life. So go ahead and give everybody a quick description, introduction of who you are, what you're doing, what's going on.
All right. My name is Ethan Landis. I'm a middle infielder / outfielder at Rend Lake College in Southern Illinois. Many people don't know, but I am a construction management major, and actually I'm undecided at Rend Lake, but when I go to my 4th year, I will be a construction management major. Life in Ina, there's not much to it.
Yeah. No, there's not.
You got a McDonald's, a Love's, and a little barbecue place right down the road, but you can go 10 or 15 minutes away to the nearest Benton or Mount Vernon and get a good spot to eat or just find something to do, but other than playing ball in college, that's about it.
Yeah, so I think we talked about this, but it used to be Uncle Joe's right there off the exit. Man, Kaylin and I used to eat a gross amount of fried bologna and fried pepper jack cheese bites.
Yeah.
Just a really seemed like it was a really like mom and pop type restaurant, and it kind of broke the monotony of McDonald's.
Yeah.
What about, is Bonnie Cafe still there?
Bonnie's is there.
Hey,
that's the spot.
It is the spot. Hey, you talk about
breakfast, everything.
Yes, it's good food.
Yep.
It's cheap. Great. I mean, great people there.
Yep.
I remember when we were there, we used to, a lot of times, we wouldn't do it like before regular season games, but before big games and stuff, we would take the whole team down there, and they loved it, you know. And then there was one in Whitting. It wasn't Bonnie; it was the other direction, and it's like if you're on 37 and you go over the lake, over Rend Lake.
There's a little.
Yeah. Oh man, what is that place called? But it was good too.
Something cafe.
Little cafe. Yeah. But yeah, man, so you talked about Ina, not really feeling like there's a whole lot around. That used to be one of my biggest points in recruiting. And I think, and I've talked about this in the past, but a lot of that is a matter of perspective, right? How you look at it. You can either look at it as you're in the middle of cornfields and beside a prison, which you are, or you can look at it from the standpoint of you're in a remote area and you're concentrated on one thing. So I think, you see a lot of guys there that will go to Benton or Mount Vernon for Walmart or to the movies or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're there and you can work.
Yeah. That's about all you do is play ball and go to school, So the regular day-to-day would be like, if you got an 8 a.m., get up and go to class. And then we got practice at 2 and then weightlifting after. So weightlifting is kind of on your own in season, but like off season, we will have like a morning lift Tuesday and Thursday, class Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So this semester, I think I had 2 in-person classes and 2 online. So I didn't have a class that started until 10, and then I just stayed in class for a little bit and then went to practice. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, you get up and you go to weights, and then we'll have another practice later in the afternoon, like a hitting group or something individual, and then go home and make dinner and play video games.
That's right.
Or, like, play poker or something. We spend a lot of time at the poker table, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's the independence part of it is huge. And making yourself get up for class and things like that. You're no longer required to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning and held there until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, you kind of have to grow up a little bit, right? Yeah,
I actually like it a lot more. I thought transitioning from high school to college would be like a lot like more tough, I guess. But the transition for me was really smooth. I mean, like my parents did a lot of stuff for me. They cleaned my clothes, made my food, when I was home. But when I went to college, you don't have them anymore. So you got to manage all your time, like sports, academics, everything else.
Grocery shopping.
There's some nights where you eat a pound of ground beef and that's it because you haven't been to the grocery or something.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy college, and even though I am at a JUCO and it's in Ina, Illinois, where there's nothing around, like I like being on my own and it's fun. I mean,
yeah, I think it's uncertain. It's just like anything. When you turn the page, it's scary.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, what's on the other side is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're kind of experiencing that. You're approaching kind of the next page right now, where you're navigating the recruiting process again. Looking towards the next step, and the next step is not going to be Ina. Right. Yeah. So, you're going to see that again. And I think, you kind of talking about, your parents kind of doing some stuff for you. It's good for you, man. It's good for you to get out of the house and to grow up and put together your own budget. And that's when you talk about college and going off to school, it teaches you so much. Yeah. And, obviously it prepares you for baseball and it prepares you for your career and stuff like that, but it prepares you how to live. Mm-hmm. And, you referenced the pound of ground beef, man. That was me and my roommate, Kendall. When we started trying to gain weight, we were eating
ground beef and rice.
Oh yeah.
So that's it.
Hey, there were nights where I wouldn't do rice. I was trying to, at the time I thought, I'm going to put on some lean weight.
Yeah.
And so I was eating ground beef, and then I would just cover the ground beef with cheese. Mm-hmm. And I would eat that. I bet I was eating probably 4 pounds of ground beef a week.
Yeah.
And then when I went into the winter, this is gross, but when I went into the winter and I was more dirty bulking, I would put syrup in it. Oh man. Yeah.
It was like Elf when he puts like the syrup on his noodles.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I was just doing crazy stuff. Then I started putting eggs in it. My morning shakes, I think it was called a NutriBullet, like the little thing that you hit the top and it blends it up. I was doing peanut butter, oatmeal, whole milk, and just throwing stuff in there, bananas. It was disgusting. Mm. But when you're learning how to navigate your day, and you're talking about time management and stuff like that, it's a lot easier. Just blend everything up, drink it in class.
Get it done. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about your classes and stuff like that. You said you had 2 in-person classes. Mm. Do you like the online format? Do you feel like it's challenging? Or do you prefer to kind of do it on your own time?
All right. So I like the online format because it's not as challenging.
Yeah.
The in-person classes are much more challenging because you're taking everything in person.
Yeah. But
I like that I can get my own work done online. Like I can get it done on Monday and be done the rest of the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in person, you got to go every day.
Yeah.
Or every 3 days, every 2 days, whatever it is. But so next semester I'm taking 3 online and 1 in person.
Yeah.
And the 1 in person class is a communications class.
Yeah, speech.
Well, I've taken speech, but it's a business communication.
Gotcha.
So, and apparently our business professor is really tough.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys.
Who is the teacher?
Mark.
Yeah, I bet it's the same guy.
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
Yeah, he is very tough, but he's good.
He's very good.
Yeah, he's a really good instructor. But he's tough.
He's tough.
I had a lot of conversations with him about players because the thing about the baseball schedule is it is a grind.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So once you guys start playing, you have to communicate with your instructors because it's not their responsibility to know when you play. It's your responsibility to communicate with them, which is also a part of being independent, and letting them know, hey, and I'm telling you right now, you better let them know.
Yeah.
Well ahead of time. Say, hey, I'm not going to be here this Tuesday and Thursday. What do I need to do? Whatever, because it is tough. And then there's the stress on your side of falling behind, missing the material, missing the presentation of the material. But yeah, so that's good, man. So you're doing construction management, and Carter and I kind of talked about this a little bit. The benefits of going junior college is if you decide that that's not what you want to do, what are you going to get your associates in?
I'm actually doubling, so I'll get it in science and whatever it is. I don't even know, but I'm getting both of them. So
Yeah.
Science and business or science and arts or I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, I ended up getting an associate's in arts and an associate's in science also because I redshirted my first year. But I've talked about this in multiple episodes. So did the dual credit stuff in high school? Did you take any dual credit in high school?
Yeah, I got 12 or 14 hours or something.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a lot.
I was about to say, so that probably helped you tremendously.
So I was actually done with both of my majors or both of my degrees, associates, this semester.
Yeah.
So next semester is all prerequisites.
Yeah.
Which is good. Just less classes out to take a 4-year, but
yeah,
I still think somehow I'm going to end up behind my 4 years a little bit.
Well, and it could be because of the particular field that you're going into.
Yeah.
And it may, depending on where you go, like I know University of Indianapolis was adamant about me taking their anatomy and physiology class. And I fought it till the end. I'm like, listen, this class that I took at Rend Lake was incredible. Like there was a cadaver, which to have a cadaver to study on, which is basically a dead body, is not that common.
Yeah.
So I went to the dean of the department. I'm like, look, I'm telling you right now that this was very practical. Like I'm sure if we look at the two syllabi, then we can compare and come to because I didn't want to take it again, and if you're dependent on how specific your degree is, sometimes those schools will just want you to take their course.
And I wish I would have been more into it my freshman year. Like I have a good GPA. I think it's 3.8 or 3.75 or something. But I wish I would have been more into it to where I would have already been working for my construction management degree because I don't think they offer that around anyways.
Yeah.
So I went undecided. I didn't want to be a business major and just take all these business classes for no reason. And I didn't want to be a education or whatever. I wanted to get in there, get my whatever is general ed, and then start on my own prerequisites, which I've done and I've started to do, but I just don't know how much it's going to translate to my 4-year, which is fine. Like if I have to go another year of college, I'll be fine. But
especially now, if you're not using eligibility right now, right?
I know. I've been talking to our assistant Ted Bergquist about it, and I don't really know what's going on there.
Nobody does.
He sent me an article. I was like, I don't know what this means. What does this mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. So,
well, it could definitely be interesting in the next couple years. You might be in a situation where you have 3 years left. You might be in a situation where you have 4. You might be in a situation where you have 2. I know a lot of it, I think, depends on kind of your progress towards degree. There's just a lot, man. It's a lot of uncertainty around the whole situation, but for your sake, I think it would be great.
Yeah.
As a high school coach, it's concerning. But it's like I've said multiple times, we'll just have to see how it plays out because there's just so much going on right now. And it was definitely circumstantial. And I think the NCAA even put something out that said this was a circumstantial situation, but we support athletes that are in the same.
And is it from the Vanderbilt quarterback?
Yeah.
Diego
Viola. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that until a week ago. And then it made sense because he did 1 year at a JUCO? Or maybe he did both years at a JUCO, transferred to a low D1.
Yeah.
Then transferred to Vanderbilt and had a great year this year.
Yeah.
So he wants that extra year of eligibility.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to work.
I don't either. And I think the premise behind it was originally around NIL money. He felt like he was missing out on opportunities through NIL because he's not getting – it's basically costing him money because if he had another year of eligibility to play, he could cash in essentially is my understanding on it. The NIL stuff. So, man, this stuff is insane. So I was talking to somebody and they sent me a list of the amount of money that is circulating for NIL. You know, your boys at UK are right at the top. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say, and I would have to check this. I want to say they were like 25th, having the most.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon has $967 million, according to this source, just towards NIL.
That's insane.
It's insane.
Well, I read something the other day. Travis Hunter won the Heisman in Colorado. He's not even getting money from the school.
Yeah.
But he's still paying for 15 other guys' NILs.
Yeah.
So, like, not only is he, like, have money for himself. I mean, he's wearing bling bling, like necklaces, all that. But he's also paying for 15 other guys' NIL deals. Which, like, when I found that out, how do you make that much money in college to do that?
I think, you know, you go to these big cities and stuff like that. I mean, think about it. Like, have you played the college football game?
I haven't. No,
oh man, you need to play it. But like, you'll see guys like you get offered NIL deals on there, and it'll in the wording it'll be like, we'll give you and 5 of your teammates a new set of tires, you know, and that's it. It can be that simple, or it can be we'll give you $3 million, you know, whatever. And I saw, again, I'd have to check my sources, but I saw where Archie Manning was like $6.6 million or something like that, and Shedeur Sanders was up there. The Hunter guy was up there. I mean, it's insane. And, you know, a lot of them are coming in revenue-generating sports like football and basketball. But, man, there's baseball players getting paid too. I know personally, without dropping names, of guys that were at Division I schools that had incredible years that was offered money to go to a bigger school. This particular one did not go, which I think says a lot about his character. You know, he was locked in. He was committed to that program. Sad reality is that ain't the case with a lot of kids.
Yeah, you can just buy players off the market now, and with the transfer portal, I mean, it's tough. Like you're gonna have to see. The thing about the JUCO thing is that what I got confused about was just going back just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
When a player goes JUCO for a year, when a player goes Division I out of high school, doesn't play red shirts, drops back JUCO, how is that going to affect?
So the way I understand it is if they don't play so say a guy goes to Florida, or we'll say UK because you're a UK guy. So a guy goes to UK, he goes there for the fall. Maybe he goes there for the whole year, but he redshirts. He doesn't play, whatever. As long as he doesn't touch the field, then he can go anywhere he wants. You know, so you look at the boy from McCracken that went to Memphis, kicked back to Logan, went to UK. Now he's at Southern Miss. I mean, he never played at Memphis, so he can come back to Logan. So really, if this goes into effect, that year that he spent at Logan might not even count against him. So he could actually have. Did he end up going to UK? Did he play at UK? Do you know?
I know he played in the fall at UK. I don't know how. I think he ended up redshirting.
Yeah. So
which doesn't make much sense because he redshirted at Memphis too.
Well, you can. I mean, think of it from a post-grad standpoint. I mean, you can take a year. You can take a full year off. You have 5 years to play 4. 5 years to play 4. So technically, if you take 2 gap years and somebody contested it, it could cost you a year of eligibility. I know people right now that still play and get their years in. Some of them only play 3. At that point, some of them only want to play 3 because, you know, you're getting older and and you realize, hey, I probably am not going to make a career out of this. Let's just go ahead and move on. But at the end of the day, man, we talked about this with Carter. Guys, now, if this is the case, guys will be able to play through their master's degree. So if you look at it from the benefits to a current player right now, it's huge because you can get your master's degree while still getting athletic scholarship money for baseball, which is awesome. And, you kind of brought up your GPA. Have you been in conversation? Have you been in money talks yet with 4-year schools? Or I know you got some visits planned coming up, but have you had money talks with them?
Money talks.
So you're going to be pleasantly surprised at how much money they're going to be able to give you academically because you have an associate's degree. So a lot of 4-year schools will offer a transfer credit. Some will, some don't. But when you transfer in, I think at the time, a lot of schools that I communicated with, 3.5 was kind of that baseline. Like at 3.5, you might get $2,000 off, depending on the school. And then at 3.7, you might get $3,500 off. But like at 3.8, 3.9, or 4.0, that's kind of the upper tier, and you'll be surprised at how much money that's going to knock off. So you'll be thankful for getting those grades, and then anything academic or anything athletic, is on top of that.
Yeah, and for some reason, I've always been driven in school to do good. Yeah. Like, schools, I don't want to say this, like, school hasn't really been hard for me. I don't, like, I've always gotten school. I've always gotten math. I'm good at math. That's my favorite subject, which is weird. But, so I've always had that determination to be good in school, to get good grades. And maybe that comes from my parents pushing me to do good in school. But throughout my life, I've been pretty successful in school, which I think translates athletically too. So if you're good in school, it makes you want to be good in athletics. Right. And then you're just well-rounded as a well, in this case, college athlete.
Yeah, but, student athlete.
The recruiting process, it's scary. Like, junior year, I was sitting there. I thought I had the talent to go, maybe not the size to go, but I thought I had talent to go play somewhere. And then senior year came, and I put up good numbers. And junior summer is when I actually Mog started recruiting me. And he gave me an offer I couldn't pass, so I committed, and it's been great ever since. But now I'm going back through that phase where I think, I know I'm good enough to go somewhere. What level that is, I'm not too sure. Right. Whether it's high Division II, low Division I, D3, whatever it is, I know I can go and play. Yeah. Once again, I'm running into the size a little bit because I am 5'9" and 3/4, 5'10", whatever you want to call it. About
just 70. Say 5'10".
Yeah, 5'10". That's what it says on my roster.
That's right.
5'10", 170, 5'10", 165, somewhere in there. My weight fluctuates. Like, I can't keep up weight, which that's been my main goal, is trying to put back weight on, because I got my wisdom teeth out this fall, which I lost 8 or 9 pounds off of. So I'm still trying to gain that back. But, I know I'm good enough, but it's like the thing with the transfer portal and recruiting and the new NCAA sanction about the 34-man roster. Yeah. And I think it's just messing up recruiting-wise in general, because we got a lot of guys on our team that are good enough to go play places. Yeah.
No, that's and at this point, you got to get in where you fit in. I mean, honestly, and that's that's something I've told multiple people about you, and something that I'm super proud of you for is when it came down to it, you would have taken any opportunity that was given to you. And I think a lot of times guys will want to kind of pigeonhole their opportunities, and when it comes down to it, if you really want to play, you've got to go where you're wanted and where you're needed. And when you came in, I remember when you went on the visit, and I texted you. I'm like, how'd it go? Like I was anxious, and I think it was maybe like that next day you came down and we were talking about your offer, and I was like, man, that's incredible. And you're talking about your size and stuff like that. You have done exactly what you needed to do as an undersized player. Yeah. And that's, and that's not me being hateful or anything. Dude, I'm 6 foot, and I was undersized going into college. And a lot of guys are. Yeah. I mean, 6 foot ain't even big, not at the college level. And you came back to a high school game. Man, I can't. It was this year, and I don't even know why you would have been in, but you were there. And I remember telling you, man, it looks like you've lost weight. And I was totally being sarcastic because you had gotten bigger, and Carter had gotten bigger too.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, man. You got to put yourself in a position to play, to get better, and to develop physically. Because bottom line is, when you graduate high school, 9 out of 10 guys are not ready physically, and you have gotten the most out of what God has given you.
Yeah.
And I think you're still going to continue to grow. I mean, that's just part of it. You're going to get in a different program. The program that you're training in now has obviously worked. But now you're going to move on to another school, and, maybe they have a diet program too. You just never know. But I think that has to go into the decision-making process of, okay, you're weighing out your options. Okay, I know I want to be this far from home. Does it fit in this? If not, okay, well, does this fit?
Yeah.
Does this fit? Does this fit? And, if you've got an opportunity to go to a program that, top level strength and conditioning program, diet program. I know when I went to Indianapolis, full disclosure, I was on my way up there, and I told my parents, I'm not going to go here. Like, I'm just going because I want to leave all options open. I want to see what it looks like. And it was really my first big visit to a 4-year school, and 6 hours from home. And I had said all along after Rend Lake, I'm going south. I'm going south. And so I end up going 4 hours the other direction. Yeah. So we get up there, and I meet the coaches. I see the facilities. The NFL that year they were building. That was when the Super Bowl was in Indy, and the NFL had come in and partnered with the school and built a huge dome, and then built like a locker room facility, 3,000 square foot weight room, something like that. And so I'm walking around, and I'm just enamored by it. And so we go in, I talk to the coaches, we leave, and I remember my parents asked me, like, what do you think? I'm like, I actually love it. And I said, what do y'all think? And I remember my dad saying to me, he goes, I've always wanted you to play for a program where you could win a championship, and I feel like this could be it. And that next year, which he didn't get to see it, which still stings, but I played my sophomore year at Rend Lake. The first year I'm at Indy, we win our conference, we win our regional, and we go to the World Series.
Wow.
So, God's going to put you where you need to be, man. And, I think it is scary, but it's one of the most exciting parts of your career right now that you're living in.
Yeah.
So I know we talked a little bit about it. So you're going to University of Missouri, St. Louis?
Yeah, on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that's actually a school I'm really interested in. The location is good. Like, I want to be close to the city because I've been in Ina, so I want to be somewhere where I can go and do stuff.
Yeah.
But they also the recruiting processes went really smoothly with them.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed talking to their assistant, and but I'm excited for this visit because I do want to see what the school looks like. Like, I was talking to my brother yesterday. I don't think this is a school that I could commit to based off of just talking to them. Like, I need to go
see it.
I need to go see it because I don't know what their facilities are like. I've tried to look up pictures and stuff, but I'm not too sure what they are. So I'm excited. I want to go and check it out. And I think a buddy's supposed to be coming with me from Rend Lake, so that'll be good. But it's the recruiting process again has been tough. Like, you have schools contact you, and then they don't contact you, and then you have schools that are like interested in you, and they're talking to your coach about you, and they say they're going to contact you, and they don't contact you. So honestly, I'm to the point now where it's like, okay, I'm going to go through the spring, play out my spring, hopefully put up the numbers I want to put up, and if I can do that, I'll be able to go a lot of places. So I'll just share a couple of goals with you. I want to hit above 300.
Yeah.
As a freshman, I had 285 with 20 stolen bases. So as a sophomore, I want to hit above 300 with 10 extra base hits and 40 stolen bases.
Yeah.
Which those are big numbers. But when you get to the college level, it's people talk about all the time how the college level, the JUCO level isn't much different than the high school level, which you run into that with high schoolers. They're like, there's no difference. No.
Yeah,
there's a difference, especially in the crack. There's a difference.
Yeah,
and it's true. You don't get comfortable until you get about 150 at bats at the college level.
Yeah,
so
that's a good number.
Yeah, it is. And I was lucky enough that Coach Mog gave me that opportunity to get that many at bats. I think I played in 49 out of 52 games, but when I struggled. Like, first half of the season, I think I was like 230 hitter. Second half of the season, like, my numbers jumped a lot. Like, I got into the threes, went back down a little bit, got back up, got back down. But not to get into the numbers, but when you get to that point of 150 at bats, that's when you're comfortable in the box. You got your timing down. Like, you faced 88 plus daily. And that's when you see, like, you do damage. And I'm excited for this year because this fall I had a heck of a fall. And, like, I couldn't have asked for a much better fall. Recruiting-wise, playing-wise, like, I couldn't have asked for much more. So, the 300 average mark and the 40 stolen base mark for sure, because I know I can do that.
Yeah.
I just got to do it now. So.
Yeah, and I think, obviously you've grown and matured as a person, and I'm sure the type of player, I'm sure you're an even stronger player now than when I coached you. But I remember, with you being at Marshall, you were just you were a spark plug. You made things happen. Even when you weren't getting hits, you made things happen. Yeah. And I think, I love the fact that you've set goals for yourself. And I think as those progress, just don't get too caught up in the numbers, especially, with the type of player that you are, where you're a top of the order or a bottom of the order type guy that's going to create action. You're going to get on the bases. You have great instincts. You're going to make things happen, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I think that those are very realistic numbers. Yeah. But it's just like I tell everybody, when it comes to numbers, you don't want to get so caught up in that if you're hitting 290, it's looked at as a failure, because it's not, and I think at the end of the day, your success as a player and an individual is how you can impact your team as a whole. Yeah. And you are that type of guy. Mm-hmm. And I looking back, like at my time at Rend Lake, and you saying that a lot of high school kids don't see a huge difference. We were talking to, who was I talking to? Alex Motter. He was a post-grad guy. And he said that the first time that they went and scrimmaged, they played at y'all's place. They played a travel team and got beat. And then they played you guys and they competed, still got beat, but they competed a little bit better. And he said that he remembers coming back and everybody being like, okay, we're going to have to get it together. Yeah. Like this is not what we're used to. Yeah. And I remember as a high school hitter, I don't know what my numbers were in high school. I think I was like a mid threes guy. But I get to college, dude, my first fall. So I redshirted the first year. And then the second year when I came out, I think I hit 190. Yeah. I mean, exposed. And the difference is in high school, the pitching is just, in college, the pitching is just so dominant. Yeah. And it's, so you get, as a high school kid, you have success. Well, then you get to college and you're seeing these guys that are trying to make a career out of pitching, and they're locating. They have a scouting report on you. They knew I couldn't hit a breaking ball in the dirt, but I could hit a fastball. Like, I could hit a fastball. You throw me a breaking ball early in the count, I'm swinging and missing, putting myself in an 0-1. Now they throw one, low and out. Yeah. I take it because I'm thinking, oh, I hope they don't throw me another curveball. Now I'm sitting there 0-2, fastball in the hands, starched, and so you have to really start to dig in more to, okay, everybody at this level can hit.
Yeah.
I have to develop an approach. I have to get comfortable in the box. And you saying 150 at bats, I think that is very realistic because your first 5 are pretty freaking scary.
Yeah.
And, because everybody that you're facing, even in inter squads, is going out there with something to prove.
Yeah.
And you definitely find yourself in a hole early. But I will say, just from experience, that adversity and struggle that you faced early is why you are how you are now. And you very well could have given up.
Yeah.
But what did you do? You probably started spending more time in the cage.
Yeah.
Right. And here we are, and I wouldn't even go as far to say, if you were 285, you can say you're close to 300 hitter. And it's probably because you got carved up several times in the fall, and it's how you respond to that says everything.
So in the fall, last fall, my freshman fall was the worst baseball I've ever played in my life. Like, I couldn't go on the field without making an error.
Yeah.
So I was behind already. We had a sophomore in front of me. Actually, yeah, we had a sophomore in front of me and a sophomore who was injured at the time that we thought would be back. But the sophomore in front of me, Blake, actually helped me a lot throughout the year, like a lot.
Yeah.
Like mentally, physically, all of it. But in the fall, I was so scared that I couldn't get myself to run. Like, running's my best tool.
Yes.
Even in high school, running was my best
we
tool.
talked about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the fall, I could not get myself to run. Like, Coach Mogg would be screaming at me across the field, like, run, because it's the fall, nobody cares, just run. I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't get my timing down. I couldn't get my footing right. Like, nothing was working. Ball in the dirt, I would run and stopped halfway. Like, it was terrible. When I tell you the worst baseball I've ever played in my life, like, the worst baseball ever. I got into my exit meeting and Coach Mogg was like, "You're one of those guys that underperformed my expectations." And I was like, dang, like, that's hard.
It's real.
And then, so I spent the Christmas in here a lot, actually. You allowed me to come up here and hit. And I think me and Gage actually came up here and hit a lot. So me and Gage worked all Christmas. And I ended up somehow, my stance was all jacked up throughout the fall. So I fixed my stance, got my timing down. And then it translated to the game. And that's what you got to do. You just got to, you got to want it, and then you got to work at it, and that's ultimately what's going to make you good. But I'm to the point now where the base hits are cool, and I am a base hit guy, but I do want to be able to hit the gaps a little bit, and I want to be able to stretch for extra base hits, because you look at all these Division I colleges, Division II colleges, they're looking for guys who can drive the baseball. And I'm lucky enough that I've been blessed with the ability to have speed and eye coordination and all that to be able to be a contact guy, be able to get on base, be able to get around the bases. And I think that's going to help me, but I would like to drive the gaps a little bit more, maybe hit a couple little pokes. But.
Well, and that will happen. That will happen with the increase in size too.
Yeah.
And I remember those conversations, and I can't remember if I initiated the text and said, "Hey, bro, how's it going?" or you text me. I can't remember, but I remember you telling me I can't make myself run. And the mind is such a powerful weapon, and it can either be a weapon for you or against you. And and this is, I guess, some advice that I used in college that helped me, and I might even told you this, but I struggled. I was never really a runner. Yeah. I mean, I was the guy that I might have 10 bags, but I was 10 for 10 because I would only go typically if I knew I could get it, But I was just never a speed guy, and I never really had the intuition that guys like you and honestly guys like Gage and kind of, those, I guess, more athletic type base runners have.
Yeah.
I relied on the bat. And when that tool dwindled and I struggled, it put me in a really dark place. And so, so coming out of Rend Lake, I had a pretty solid career. Well, getting to Indy, I hit another spell where I was struggling. I was struggling and it was affecting me mentally. It was affecting me socially because I was borderline depressed, which anybody that listens to this is like, bro, it's just hitting. No, when your whole student athlete career is wrapped around this one thing, at least in your mind, and then that thing starts to struggle, it puts you in a dark place. And so, it wasn't like it was like traumatic or nothing, but I was just not, it was changing me. Yeah. So I remember one of my teammates, Scott Moore, he was like, dude, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. And he tells me about this book, and it's called Mind Gym. And I hate reading. But I read it. And basically the premise of the book talks about when you're struggling and you're in a tough place personally, at least in, with baseball, take the emphasis off of yourself and put it on your team. Yeah. So, you're talking about you're struggling. You can't even make yourself run. If you take it away from the fact, if you change your perspective to, I don't want to run because I'm afraid I'm going to get out, and you switch that to, I have to get to second so that such and such can get me to third and I can score, it changes the whole perspective. So for me as a hitter, I shifted from, I have to get a hit for me here to, I have to get on base for Jake or whoever it was that was coming in behind me, or I have to get to second for this. Yeah. And that was a David Ross thing too, played for the Cubs. He talked about that, take the emphasis off yourself, put it on your team. Yeah. And so that's something that I've really, last year for Marshall, we struggled offensively for a little while. We ended up really strong offensively, and we've actually gotten better each year offensively. But we really switched our perspective to individual success, and guys, quit worrying about your hits, quit worrying about your average, worry about your quality at bats and what you can do in that situation to help the team. When you're sitting there on deck and you're sitting in the hole, run these situations through your mind. And okay, if Ethan gets on first here, I need to look for something that I can hit behind him to get him to second. Or if the third baseman plays back, boom, drop one down third, and take the emphasis off yourself, put it on your team. And that's, I think that, with you, man, that's where you got to stay, you got to kind of stay in that mentality, because I feel like mentally we're probably a lot of the same. You put so much pressure on yourself, and you were talking about, you've always been able to excel in school. That's internal, man. No, yes, it is influenced and it's created by your parents and those around you, but it 100% translates on the field, off the field, in your relationships, on and off the field. You have a high expectation of yourself. And so anytime you fall short of that, you look at it as a failure. So that's why, kind of going all the way back, if you don't hit 300, you're still be successful.
And I say these numbers, but those are just goals.
Right. Absolutely.
I want to meet them, but it's not do or don't. It's not like death if I don't.
Right.
Ultimately, I want to win.
Yeah.
First, I wanted to win in Marshall.
Absolutely.
100%. So I come to Rend Lake. We got a great class. Sophomore class is great. Freshman class has a lot of talent. We have a great class. We could win this year. We could do good things. And I think we will. But me saying these numbers is, I believe I will be a top of the order guy. So if I can get on base, if I can hit 300, steal 40 bags, that puts us in a good chance to win.
Absolutely.
Me getting on base, getting to second or getting to third with one out.
Yeah.
There's a run scored early on in the game, blah, blah, blah. But that's recruiting wise, that's what I want to do. Yeah. That's my main goal. I want to go to a place where we have a chance to compete for conference championship or World Series, whatever. I just want to win. Yeah. Whatever case that may be, whether I'm in right field, second base, third base, short, but I'm thankful that Mog has switched me to now being able to play both, which I never played outfield before, and you know that.
Yeah.
Until this year or last spring, I worked a little bit on and off, but this spring, I primarily will be in the outfield.
Yeah.
I think I have the arm strength to do it and the speed to do it for sure, but I'm excited because it's a new challenge. It's going to challenge me, and honestly, being in the outfield takes the stress off of being in the infield.
It does.
Because there's a lot of stress.
Yes.
Being a middle infielder especially, there's a lot of stress there. So now I can just focus on hitting, catching the ball, throwing the ball, running. And I think that's going to help me in the end. And I'm really excited. Like, I bring up these numbers again, but that's all those are just goals, and I just want to win.
Yep.
Like, if I do these things, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
So we're going to win.
Well, and I that was something, that I remember us also talking about previously, was that you weren't set up the middle anymore. And man, that honestly is like, I'm very proud of you for that, because, you're a guy that's played middle infield your entire life.
Yeah.
Right. And you played it all through high school. You played second and short all through high school. And at the end of the day, you need to be as versatile as possible. And for anybody that's listening to this, that goes from 7U to 21.
Yep.
You need to be able to play wherever you are needed, because at the end of the day, when you get to the high school level, there may be somebody in front of you.
Yep.
And if you want to get on the field, you need to be willing and able to play those spots. It's the same way in high school. You were a shortstop all through high school. You get to college, there's somebody ahead of you, right? He's logged time there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's saying necessarily that you can't play that position, but he's earned it already.
Yeah.
So where do you get in, right? And, kind of personal story. I played short my whole life. And I actually played over a senior as a freshman, which I could not believe, but I did.
Yeah.
So I played short my whole life in high school. Get to college, first day of practice, go to where you think you're going to play. That's what they said. That's what Coach Etner said. Go to where you think you're going to play. Dude, there were 7 shortstops, 7 of them. All of us sitting there thinking, nah, you ain't going to be here. It's going to be me, right? Well, it gets down to 2, and it's me and a teammate from Puerto Rico, Raymond Fuentes. And obviously, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to get you, right? Obviously, he's thinking the same thing. Well, I end up going down for an injury. And, he was solid, dude. He was solid. But I end up going down for an injury with my hip. So now I'm sitting back. I'm seeing the game from a different perspective. And I'm seeing this man play shortstop. I'm like, yep, that ain't my spot anymore. Like to be honest, it never was. Yeah. Like it was. I think it was going to be a fight from the beginning. And I'm watching this kid play. I'm like, that ain't my spot. He's the guy for that spot, yeah. And I remember like telling my roommate, I got to get bigger, man. I got to get bigger, because if I'm going to play in this game, if I'm going to play on this team, I'm either going to be at third or first. Mm-hmm. And I'm not tall, right?
Yeah.
And because we had a good second baseman too, Raymond Devalier from Miami, stud. And so I'm like, yeah, this ain't my spot. So you have to do what you have to do. And I think, you talking about the switch into the outfield, there is something very real about that. And I don't know what it is. I don't know why the infield is so much more stressful, but I don't know if you remember a guy named Ian Walters from McCracken County. He played for me at Rend Lake, and his first year I played him at short. And it was the first year that I think it was the first year I took over. And I was playing him at short, and he struggled. He struggled defensively, and he struggled offensively. And he figured it out. Because he's an incredible athlete. But the next year, I ended up playing him in right field because he had a hose and he could run. He was playing, he was good. He's incredible. But that year, he hit like 480 or something crazy, Yeah. And I remember like him saying something similar to what you just said, like, I can just relax. And dude, he went out and he tore up. This man basically bypassed second base the whole season. Like, he had like 9 triples and 4 doubles. Like, it was insane, like 6 home runs. And I mean, he went to SIU Carbondale. He's still playing pro ball. So yeah. I think he's doing like some independent stuff, but it's just crazy to think about that. And, and then you think kind of twist it a little bit and you look at it from a PO's perspective, right? So you're dividing your time between hitting and pitching, right? And this is something that I think is very tough for, especially in high school, for people to understand. By the time they get to college, they know they're a PO, right? Oh, yeah. But, so you've got guys that are dividing time between hitting and pitching. If you get asked to be a PO, it's not because we think you can't hit. Mm-hmm. It's because we know you can pitch.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah, and that's the difference is once you get to college, guys embrace that, and it's like, yeah, we're shoving today, and you see those PO guys. Coach Jackson calls them Pi Omega. That's what he called them in college. The Pi Omega guys. They kind of start to bond together, right? And they're doing their flat grounds. They're doing their workouts. They're not doing anything overhead. They're doing their stuff, but they're getting stronger. They're embracing that role.
Yeah. And
you really start to see them flourish. Mm-hmm. Then they throw a shutout. They think they can still hit at BP, and one of them accidentally hits one out, and then they think they're a hitter again. But but no, man, that's good. I think you can definitely think that you can fill that kind of utility role.
Yeah.
And from a recruiting standpoint, obviously, I would think that would be something valuable for them.
So the University of Missouri, St. Louis, on the phone, he said, you're a guy that we're looking for, a guy who's a top 4 guy who gets on, can run. We got the bats behind you. So we just need the guy, the piece at the top of the order that can run, that can steal you bags, that can produce runs. And then he was like, you're also a guy who, if we need you at third one day, you can play third. If we need you at second one day, you can play second. If we need you in center, you can play center. You just have the versatility to be able to play when we need you.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge for me, not only, but for a high schooler who's looking at the recruiting process. You just need to be able to play everywhere. You need to be able to you need to be good everywhere. Infield, outfield, you need to be solid defender regardless where it is.
Yeah.
And if you can play multiple and you're solid at multiple, even better. But you need to be able to play everywhere.
Yeah.
And the guys that get butthurt about, I'm a shortstop, but this dude's playing in front of me, go beat him out. Yeah. Go beat him out or go find another spot. If he's going to beat you, go play. Find a place to play.
Yeah. And
at the end of the day, I think it's a competitive mindset you got to have. And I am a competitor, and that's what I've always had. But, I don't know. The versatility I'm really thankful for.
Yeah.
I'm glad Monga's done that. And I never thought I'd be an outfielder, but I'm glad he did.
Well, I like Coach Mogg, man.
Yeah.
I think because this is his second time there, right? And he really works. He'll text, he'll ask about guys, he'll come down and watch. I think he does it the right way. I respect you, and I think the fact that you like him says a lot. And I'm trying to send him guys every year, because I think in my role now, I want to put guys in the best position that I feel like that they will succeed. And I feel like that's a spot.
Yeah.
I love that conference, obviously repping the gear.
Tough one, but
it's tough. And, the GRAC is one of the better junior college baseball conferences around, especially in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. And, and that's nothing against some of the Missouri ones and West Tennessee. I mean, Dyersburg State, Crowder, Jeffco, all those schools are solid. but the depth of the GRAC is what makes it so special, and the number of solid teams. Every week that you go out and you're playing a conference series, you might get swept, you might sweep.
Yeah.
You just never know.
We went to Wabash last year, played a single because we played our double at home. So this was a Thursday game, I believe. Anyways, we went to Wabash, and they ran out of lefties, 90-92, going to South Carolina. Filthy. The first at bat that I genuinely felt like I had no chance in college. Like, fastball by me.
Yeah.
Sweeper that was like basically a 12-6 that was just in for a strike. I took it because I don't like swinging breaking pitches.
Yeah.
Especially up in the count. But,
yeah.
And then he throws a fastball up, changes my eye level, and then he comes back with a back foot slider. And it was like, he sorted me. And that was the first at bat. I was like, dang, like,
here we go.
That competition, like, that's crazy. Like, for you to be able to dominate me like that is insane. And then you go and you face Kaskaskia, who's not a powerhouse, but they have a kid named Niall Adcock who went to Kentucky this year. And might have been the most dominant pitcher we faced all year.
Really? They always got good arms, man.
7-inning shutout. Like, Kaskaskia's good.
Yeah.
They're not John A. or Wabash or Swick. They're right there with Swick, I would say. Right there with us and Swick.
Yeah.
But Kaskaskia, they always have two guys who can shove. And Adcock shoved. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, 7-inning shutout. Allowed 3 hits or something like that. Like, carved us, and that was like we all went back to the rec and we're like, wow, like that's what you got to be, I guess. And that's the GRAC, man. They got some good arms, they got some good bats too, but the arms in the GRAC are special. They
Kaskaskia was always good. Is it Coach Custer that's still there?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's been there a while. I think he's still there. I did just see on Twitter though where Frontier, are they in the conference? Are they kind of an independent that y'all still play? What is their situation?
So they're in our region, but not our conference.
There it is. That's the same way it was.
They're in our region.
They just got a transfer from Kentucky, like a big arm. It's a lefty.
Frontier does?
Yeah. A big one. According to the article, he's the real deal. And that's the kind of the crazy thing about junior college is, you might play one team in the fall. They roll out a different team in the spring. Yep. And that's, I know it was that way with Logan a lot.
They still are like that.
Yeah.
And we played them this fall and we beat them this fall, but I mean, it's fall, obviously.
Right.
And plus, in the spring, they'll bring in 4 or 5 transfers too.
Yeah, Carter said that. He straight up said that. He goes, he's like, we got a great, he's talking about the classes. He said, we got a good class coming in. We got a good class there now. We'll probably get several transfers, right?
Yep. It happens every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah.
What was it? I was gonna say something.
I mean, you got to play the game, and that's the thing at junior college. I mean, that is what it is. You can't, and I said this when I was there. I mean, you can't fault a team for bringing in a kid from Clemson.
I know.
Like, of course, and like on my way out, I had just kind of started getting there, like where there were like a kid from Ohio was going to come in, and I think like a kid from Akron or something, but a lot of our kids were just high school kids that we developed, and I think that is what Rend Lake is, man. Rend Lake is just a blue collar dirt bag. 100%. Get in there, get your work in. You have everything that you could possibly need. And the people there love the baseball players. The community loves it,
I think since I've been there, we've had, let's see, 1 transfer I know of, maybe 2. And the transfer we got only came, he was at Frontier and he didn't like Frontier. Yeah. And he had some other buddies from Southern Indiana that were on the team, so he came to be with them. But Rend Lake, all of us are just straight out of high school. Nothing like drop back. No. Yeah. I don't think Coach Mock really likes dropbacks. Maybe I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I'm happy he doesn't, because I think ultimately bringing in guys at December can hurt you dramatically as a team, chemistry wise, play style wise. Like, it can really affect you.
Yeah,
it can also make you really good.
Yep.
And John
has to be the right guy.
Yeah, John A. somehow always finds the right pieces to make them really good. But yeah.
You know, I always felt like the guys that Wabash got were like another level. Honestly, the transfers that they would get, man, some of the best junior college players I ever saw play was there. Yeah. I mean, dudes that could hit it, throw it, run. Yeah. Guys that throw hard, they compete. I mean, and that's why they are the team. Them and Logan are the team to beat every year. And I loved that, man. I loved at Rend Lake, like, playing those guys. Yeah. And that's just like now at Marshall. I love those big games, man. I think a lot of times, like, you'll see coaches kind of like get real intense and animated and stuff. Dude, I'm like so locked in. Yeah. Like after the games and stuff, a lot of times that's whenever, like, the emotional stuff. Like, I'm usually pretty energetic and stuff before, but man, when the game starts, I'm like laser focused, and I love that. And that was one of the things that I missed more than anything whenever I stopped playing. Yeah. And at that time that I wasn't coaching, I missed like those competitive juices flowing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you better have that every time you roll out, or you're getting pummeled,
especially in conference play.
Yes.
Yeah. Greg's no joke, man.
Yeah. So something I was kind of talking about with who was I? Oh, Alex Motter. He had experienced some injuries and stuff, and man, we got to talking about, you know, the mental side of getting hurt and battling back from those injuries and stuff like that. And the one thing that I brought up was one of the scariest injuries that I have seen is the concussions. Yeah. And you know, you're not the only one. Like, there have been other instances, but, you know, I think the scariest part about those is you feel better, right? You feel like you're good to go, and you're just not. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that talk about that. I know you know what I'm talking about. Talk about that, the experience at Callaway from what you remember.
So, I know first at bat I hit a double, second at bat bunt single, third at bat I flew out, fourth at bat it was
huge moment in the game.
What inning?
Is at the end of the game.
I know what the at bat was, but what inning did I actually get concussed? Was it the sixth?
Man, it was late.
It was bottom five or top six. It had to have been bottom five.
It was back half of the game.
I think it was bottom five. Well, I don't remember. So all I know is that Dad got it on video. I hit my triple. I got to third, and this is your story from here. Yeah. I don't know what I said. Yeah. I got to third, standing up. I looked around, gave a little flex to the dugout. And you said, "Nice hit, dude," or something like that. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah. And you're like, "Dude, you just smoked a triple." I was like, okay. And then I think I scored and came back to the dugout, and then y'all pulled me. Yeah. When I tell you I don't remember a single thing I don't remember the collision. I don't remember my at-bat. I don't remember the night in the hospital. I don't remember the drive going home. Yeah. All I remember is waking up at 2 a.m. and Dad was like, here's some ibuprofen or water, and take this. And went back to sleep and woke up at like 3 o'clock the next day. So, man,
it's golly, that freaked me out, because I had never seen that happen. Yeah. Right. So you go back and fly ball, shallow left. Jace is built like a freaking brick house, right?
And you know how it is running out there.
Yes.
So you can't hear anything.
So he's running, and you got the wind howling in, kind of a crosswind. So you've got so you can't hear what's going on. You're going back, full speed. Jace is coming in full speed, and somebody called it. And I honestly think you both might have called it.
Yeah.
And y'all hit, you both go down. Everybody rushes out there, and you're awake, right? Jace has kind of been over. I ask him, I'm like, hey man, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Well, then by that time, the trainer is already out there with you. He's checking you, putting you through concussion protocol stuff. You're like, I'm good. And he goes, where you at? You know, you said Callaway County, who's the president, you know, all this. And you passed, you did it. Everything was good. You get up. The trainer's already walked off. I'm kind of walking beside you. I'm like, hey, are you sure you're good? I'm good. Short inning, like we're in maybe the next pitch. I mean, it was pretty quick, right? So you come in, you're actually, I think we had 2 outs. You come up, you hit that triple, laser, dude, laser. I'm talking like 10-degree launch angle, line drive down the line. You don't miss a beat. You get to third, slide into third, pop up. Everything's normal. Pop up, look over in the dugout. Let's go, flexing and stuff. You turn right back around to me. I give you a high five. I'm like, hey, nice hit. And you go, what just happened? And I go, what's up? And you go, what did I do? And I go, are you being serious? And I'm at this point, I'm like, no, I'm nervous. I'm like, are you being serious? And you said, yeah. I go, dude, you just hit a triple. Next pitch, ball in the dirt, you score. I told Randy, I said, hey, he's out. Get him out. And you sat down on the bench and didn't say a word to anybody. And I was like, at that point, I was nervous. And then I called the trainer back over there. And he said, yeah, he probably needs to go get checked out or whatever. And I remember I was nervous about it because you had no visible signs, you know, and we've had that again with other players and stuff. And it's freaky. I had one when I was younger, but I don't remember anything about it. You know, I remember the fatigue part, but it's scary. So I tell that story to talk about like how frustrating it was, you know, kind of going through that process of, as you were coming back, right, you felt ready to go, but you couldn't do it.
Yeah,
right?
So the next week we started districts didn't start. We had Murray coming up. So I was out of school for 2 days at least, and I came back wearing sunglasses or something because the light was still affecting me. Anyways, I had to go through concussion protocol with trainer Jen, and all that. But the game at Murray was tough because that was some kind of special night. I don't remember what it was. We had some sort of event, and I wasn't I had my jersey on, but I was in sweatpants and all that.
Yeah, I think it was during. Was that during the Preston Coat event?
It might have been.
I think it was. I think that's why, because I think that's why you had the jersey on.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah. So it might have been that weekend.
So we played them on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, or maybe, did we play both district games in the same week?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, we ended up getting beat by Murray for the first time in 5 years.
Yeah.
So that stuck.
Yeah.
And then we the next week, we go to, McCracken comes to us. I'm still out. I feel fine. I want to play. Still out. I think I have 2 days left of concussion protocol.
Yeah.
And we get beat 6-5 by McCracken.
Yeah.
And that one stung really bad because it was like, wow, we were right there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've never dealt with injury ever. Never been injured. And for me to get a concussion like that and make me sit out for 2 weeks, whether I'm fine or not, getting a concussion and having to sit out for 2 weeks because of concussion protocol sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Normally if I get injured, tweak something in my knee, tweak something in my back, whatever, I'm going to play through it.
Yep.
But because it's a concussion, I have to sit out. I have no choice.
Yeah.
And so that was tough. And the 2 losses we took were tough losses.
Yeah.
And I wish I could have had those back. But yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, it's I think, and the whole reason that got brought up was just because it's that the mental side of coming back from an injury is tough, and you have to be resilient because you kind of have, and especially a guy like you where you have these high expectations of yourself. Now you've been off for 2-3 weeks, and because you can't do anything, you can't hit, you can't do anything, and it's right at the meaty part of our schedule. And now you're expecting yourself to come back and be right at the top. And I mean, and honestly, your team's expecting you to do that. And so it's just tough, man. It's a tough situation to be a part of. And I think, anybody that listens to this, for people that are going through injuries, it is tough, man. It's tough. And there's a psychological piece to it that until you've been injured, you don't really appreciate it. Yeah. But, going through that now, you can help other people kind of navigate it.
And actually, I think I came back from that injury, and we went to Carlisle and played. I think that was after that time.
It was
the best game of my high school career.
Yeah,
I think I was 3 for 4 with 5 stolen bases.
Yeah, it's good.
Scored both runs. We beat them 2-1 or something stupid, and they were chirping me, and I was chirping back. I think I got in trouble with you.
Yeah.
What's his name? You and I got into a yelling match.
I remember that. Yeah.
But yeah, that was it was weird because I had been off for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it was like I didn't miss a beat. Like I just came back and played. And honestly, I think that's just a sign of like going out and having fun.
Yeah.
Because I've been off for so long, like I just want to play ball, and that's all it was. And ultimately, you just gotta want it. You just gotta want to play ball. Like go out and have fun, even though it is a game driven by statistics and driven by championships, whatever. Like just go. It's a game.
Yep.
At the end of the day, just go and have fun. You'll be good.
I love that, man, and that's that's injuries aside. It's all at the end of the day, man. You are living your best life right now. You're playing college baseball, something that not everybody gets to do. And, you coming back and hitting in here, and really any college guy that comes back, I want to put people around these kids that use this facility to inspire them, to give them hope, to let them see that there's a future in the game. And you're living that life, and at the end of the day, this is a game, and it's one hell of a game, and it's a beautiful journey that you're on, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see where you end up. I'm excited to see what your career holds for you. I think regardless if it's baseball, if it's construction, whatever it is, I know you're going to be successful because that's the personality and the mentality that you got. And I'll end by this. I'm thankful for the opportunity to coach you. I'm thankful for the opportunity to know you as a person and a player. And I can promise you that if you ever need anything, whether it's a place to hit, advice, if you need me to buy you Mind Gym, I'll do that. But anything you need, man, I got you.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say that you coming in at Marshall might have been like one of the biggest blessings I've gotten, like career wise, because sophomore year I went through it a little bit, didn't play good, was second base, whatever. You come in my junior year, I don't know, for some reason we just like clicked and we had this connection, and I think you saw a little bit of me and yourself and whatever, but there was just some sort of connection there which drove me to be better than what I thought I could be, and ultimately I think it paid off. So I just want to say thanks to you.
Well, I appreciate that, man, and I got your back. If you ever need anything, I got you.
Thank you.